You may have noticed that there are three key skills successful business owners have in their leadership mindset toolbox. And we're going to talk about those today. So if you're not sure what they are, or if you've never heard of that, keep listening. Hi there, I'm Joe Sova. This is the Joe Sova Business Show. So glad you're here. You're going to love this episode. What we're going to talk about today is the three key skills successful business owners should have in their leadership mindset toolbox and how you can apply that to your business. Because as an entrepreneur, as a visionary leader, you are leading the way. Whether it's yourself, even if you're solo, or whether you have a team, you are leading, right? You're doing something that's much, much different than the majority of people out there, right? You're making a difference in this world by creating something from nothing. Your business didn't exist before you started it. Or if you took over a business, right? That business may not exist any longer unless you're operating it, running it, okay? So as entrepreneurs, we are creators. We're creating something from nothing, right? It may be an idea, maybe a product, maybe a service, whatever it is, we are creating something to impact the world, to create more change in the world, to better everything around us. That's the exciting part of entrepreneurship, right? We have those rough days where things don't seem to go right. Why put ourselves through that? It's because of the impact we can have, that change we create, the vision that we're going towards. Am I right? That's what entrepreneurship is about, all right? So we can have the impact. With the impact, we create the income. That's all part of it, right? And then with the income also comes freedom. We want those things. Most successful entrepreneurs want one of those three things, right? They want to create impact, income, or freedom, or all three. Now, in order to get there, what I've noticed over the years and working with one-to-one coaching clients through our processes together and building this myself, right? I created a business from zero where we do over 7 figures annually every single year. And what I've learned from all of that experience is that there are three key skills to have in regards to our leadership mindset toolbox. And you're going to want to put these in your back pocket as well and be aware of this. All right. So that's what we're going to go over today. Before we get there, take a quick second and go to joesovatraining.com/subscribe now. All right. You're going to want to do that so that you can subscribe to more episodes like this, so that you can create your vision, your dreams, and live your purpose and meaning in your business. Okay. So let's get into it. And the three skills that every business owner needs when it comes to leadership mindset. Now, the mindset behind leadership is really how we approach our business, what we're doing, and who we're being day in and day out. And who we're being actually drills down into what we're doing. All right. So our mindset dictates what our behavior is. If our mindset up here is, I'm going to fix all the problems, then our behavior is, I'm stuck in the weeds fixing all the problems. If our mindset up here is, I'm going to work on only what matters, right? And in the parts of the business that I'm really one of a kind at, or maybe it's marketing, maybe it's creating processes, maybe it's doing something specific in our business, that's going to drive revenue, right? Maybe it's talking with partnerships, with new opportunities, whatever it is, right? If I'm focused on that area, right? I'm leading and creating something bigger than simply myself stuck in the weeds, then that is leadership mindset. Okay. So that's a high level overview of that. Again, I talk about some of that on other episodes, so you can check those out as needed. All right. But the three key steps starts here. All right. Is number one, when we're missing a leadership mindset and we don't have these tools, what can happen is we get caught in all the other stuff. Life happens, business happens, distractions happen. You know this, right? Right now, as you're listening to this, you're probably getting messages on your phone. You probably have emails coming in. You may even have customers or team members trying to grab your attention, ask you a question, get something from you, right? So life happens. And when that happens, we get distracted and pulled away from our purpose in our business. We get pulled away from the reason we started in the first place, because you know that you didn't start your business to do all the little things, to do the accounting and the graphic design and all this little stuff, right? You started your business at a higher level impact. Okay. So these skills will allow you to do that. And when you put these into place, that's when things really change for the better and you start to make progress towards your goals. All right. So skill number one is balance. All right. That's a big theme here, is having the balance in your business. And I'm not talking about balancing on a tightrope, although some days it probably feels that way in entrepreneurship. I know it does for me. I'm talking about balance of having the big picture vision, because you are a purpose-driven visionary, right? And an entrepreneur in your business, you've got that big vision and understand that this is where I'm going. You also need the ground level action, right? And oftentimes I'll have clients of mine. I'll give you a story. I had a client of mine that recently we were talking about what they wanted in their business, all right? And their goal and their vision, they hadn't really mapped that out. Okay. They were so stuck for so many years, and I'm talking years, in just getting by day to day, and more and more stuff would pile up that they lost track of where they were going. Okay. Their perspective was, well, I've got things to do, right? The phone's ringing, emails are coming in. I have things to do. I only focus on this ground level stuff. Okay. That's part of it. Things need to get done. At the same time, you have to know where you're going. Right? If you're going on a trip, if the airplane's going to take off, you need to have a clear destination on where you're going, right? Otherwise, you could wind up anywhere. And winding up in Florida is very different than winding up in Alaska. Okay, so two different destinations, and the airplane can go to either one unless you have a specific vision as to where you're going. Okay, so we have to have that high level vision. At the same time, sometimes entrepreneurs start their business and they're like, okay, yeah, it's all this grand vision stuff, and things don't get done, right? They're not taking care of customers. They're not taking care of fulfilling their promise to clients, whatever it may be. That ground level stuff still needs to happen. Okay. And you can get caught on either end of it. You can get caught in the weeds, or you can get caught in the clouds. There is a balance there. Both need to happen, and they can happen in different ways, right? The ground level stuff, as you grow your business, as you start to see some results, as your income increases, it starts to invest back into the business with building a team, putting in processes, making things happen. And the sooner you start that, even with zero people, right, besides yourself, the sooner you start that, the better positioned you are when that day comes and you need it. All right. So it's a balance as a skill set of having the high level vision completed with the ground level work, and who's doing what, and a plan of action to take care of all of that, right? Is the ground level work leading you towards that vision? Okay. And that's more, I get deeper into that with, again, some of my coaching clients, but that's the overview of having balance in your business, right? It's understanding there's two sides to everything. We hear a lot of, if you listen to other podcasts and things, a lot of people say, hey, hustle and grind and work hard and do all that stuff. Okay. That's part of it. Sure. Right. As an entrepreneur, you have that drive to do something, but are you working hard and hustling and grinding on the right things, on the actions that are taking you towards that big picture vision? That's what gets lost with most entrepreneurs. And that's where businesses fall off the cliff. All right. I was almost there. This is my experience. You work so hard, you grind so long, and you hustle so much for so long that you drive off the cliff without seeing the bigger picture, right? You're taking the wrong level action. Okay. So it's a balance between the high level and the ground level, and the knowledge, the skill set to understand what's important right now, right? What needs to be done right now in order to get me to that vision. Okay. So it's all about a plan and having balance in what you do and what's being done in your business. That's skill number one. All right. Skill number two is focus. All right. Along with balance, we need focus. And what that means is, you probably know it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, right? There's questions to answer. There's fires to put out. There's plates to spin, all the stuff, right? We've got everything coming at us. Everybody's coming to us, customers, right? New prospects that want our service, right? If we're doing our job as marketers and entrepreneurs, people want to pay us money for something, right? So we've got to help them. You may have a team. You may have vendors. You may have accounting, right? Whatever. All this stuff is coming at us. So it's up to us to focus, stay the course, focus on what matters relentlessly. It's imperative. As you know, it's imperative to focus on what matters and remove what doesn't from your plate. Right? If you want to accelerate your business, then you delegate the rest. You focus on getting to that goal. All right. And just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you should. You may or may not realize this yet, but just because you can do the emails and respond to customer service and do the accounting and do the graphics, just because you can do all of that doesn't mean you should in your business. Okay. So this is about removing distractions. Again, people, as we talked in the balance section of this episode, regarding focus, the people around us, especially as us as problem solvers by nature, want our time. They want our expertise. They want our attention. And it's up to us to decide who gets it or what gets it and what's most important. And we need to focus, right? Just today, this happens all the time. You probably see this too. Just today, LinkedIn, somebody messages me, hey, I've got something that I want to promote and I want to tell you about it. Let's set up a meeting. Is that getting me towards my goal? Right? Are those types of meetings getting me towards my goal and my business so that I can impact more people? Or it's really common, all right, when I was doing B2B sales, so common where, somebody, hey, let's meet for coffee and you can tell me about your business. Oh, okay, sure. The real meaning behind that was so that they could tell me about their business and try to sell me something. Basically, usually it was like life insurance or something. So, no offense to life insurance salesmen out there, but there's a better way. Okay. And I used to take those meetings, but eventually I realized it was my energy being spent somewhere that wasn't productive. All right. So I had to focus my attention and simply learn the skill set. This is part of focus, the skill to say no. Listen, I'm committed to other opportunities right now. I've got to focus my attention elsewhere. Thanks for the time. All right. So telling these people, no thanks. Right. We'll figure that out later. And it's also the ability to say yes. All right. So your ability to say no to what's distracting you, your ability to say yes to what's priority in moving your business forward. And that's revenue generating opportunities, partnerships, what you're good at, your zone of genius, what lights you up. If you're like I used to be, right, and doing things in your business that drain your energy all day long, how in the world are you going to sustain that for the long term? It's impossible, right? Has there ever been a time where you were doing something that you just like dreaded, and it might be daily? I was doing it daily, right? That just drains you and drains you and drains you, and to get past that is nearly impossible. Now, the flip side is when you do things that energize you, that light you up, that you love to do, your purpose, the meaning behind everything you do, it's no longer a chore. It's no longer work. It's fun. It's great. And that attracts everything else towards you to grow your business. All right. So focus relentlessly on what you say no to and what you say yes to. That's skill set number 2. All right. Number 3 is one I don't hear a lot out there. And actually, when I do, there's some misconceptions around it. And I actually grew up with a huge misconception around this. But I'll try to explain what I mean here. Number 3 is humbleness. Okay. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need a level of confidence, of, maybe even being a little brash, if you will. You've got to believe in yourself no matter what, even when nobody else does. Okay. So that is clear. What's also clear is that you need the skills to recognize what you don't know. That's what I mean by humbleness. All right. I grew up where, I was taught humbleness is, hey, don't brag, don't talk about yourself, never do that. Well, that causes a whole other issue because then you can't sell anything. All right. If you can't talk about yourself, nobody knows what you do, and you're not going to have many customers. All right. I got over that mental block a long time ago through some self-development and work with some coaches. And now I help others do the same thing. So what I mean by humbleness is simply having the skill to recognize that I don't know everything. Right? I built my business to where it is and we're successful, yet my vision is out here, right? Maybe I'm here kind of halfway, but my vision is here. So if I knew everything and if I had all the answers myself, I would already be at my end goal, wouldn't I? So being humble when it comes to entrepreneurship and having that as a skill in your leadership mindset toolbox is about recognizing what you don't know, finding out what's actually holding you back. You might think, hey, the economy is slow, I'm not getting any customers, but maybe you have a thought like I did, a mental block like I did, where it's like, well, I have to be humble, right? And if I'm humble, I don't brag about myself. And if I don't brag about myself, I don't talk about my own product. Well, that's going to hinder sales. Okay. That's a mental block to get past, right? Or maybe it's, hey, I have to work hard all the time in order to deserve my income, right? If I'm not working nonstop, 10-hour, 12-hour, 14+ hour days, then I don't deserve the 6-figure income. That's my goal, right? And that's a mental block, because we all know there are people and successful business owners, I've coached them one-to-one, that don't work the 14-hour days and still reach their goals. And I'm proof of that now. I used to be the hustle guy and grinding it out. But that's a whole nother episode. And that's, as you probably know, that's a limited strategy. You can only hustle so far. You can only run so fast. You can only do so much. Right? So when you recognize that there may be things holding you back mentally, right, from a hidden, invisible barrier standpoint, and there's ways to get around that, that's a skill set in your leadership toolbox that successful entrepreneurs use. The 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs know that they don't know everything. Right? LeBron James knows he doesn't know everything about basketball, and he has coaches helping him recognize what he may be missing, the blind spots that he may be missing, right? In a game, in practice, he has somebody helping him. Tiger Woods has a swing coach, the greatest golfer of all time, had a coach for his swing. Why is that? It's simple, because he couldn't see his own limitations, right? So that's a version of humbleness. And obviously Tiger and LeBron aren't, you wouldn't think they're humble, super humble guys, because they're the best in the world at what they do, and they know it. And that's why they actually have that skill to recognize that they don't know everything they don't know. All right. So that's having a willingness and almost a tenacity to do whatever is needed, right? In your business, if you're like most successful entrepreneurs, you want to do everything you can, anything you can, and you will run through walls, whatever is needed to create the business of your dreams, right? And that also means, as you're starting to realize, it means figuring out where those hidden, invisible blocks are that are holding you back. Because if nothing was holding you back, you'd already be skyrocketing to the moon by now. All right. So that's what I do with one-on-one clients, is help them recognize those things and actually move them forward in their business. All right. So all three of those things, having balance of the high and the low, right? Having focus, and then being humble enough to recognize that there are ways outside of your own knowledge to get help. All three skill sets of a leadership mindset. When you put those together, you can start to see that, okay, I am here to lead. I'm here to do more than I'm doing now. I'm here to be the entrepreneur that I was born to be. That's what you want to do, isn't not? That's what we're here to be. Something bigger than ourselves. Entrepreneurship isn't a punch the clock 9-to-5 gig. This is creating something from nothing. What we talked about early in the episode. This is living your purpose. This is living meaning in your life, in the lives of all those around you, your family, future generations, your community, the impact you have. That's leadership mindset. When you come into everything, understanding that there is more here than simply providing a product or service, getting through the day, fighting my way through all the fires and all the questions and all the stuff today just to do it all again tomorrow. That's an employee mindset. That's a job. That's a job mindset. And that's the mindset of most people out there. But you, since you're here listening now, you know that there's something more inside you to give. You know there's something more inside you to bring to the world. And you're starting to notice that the way to do that is by creating that leadership mindset behind it all. Moving past the barriers, setting the concrete goals, having that big vision with the laid out foundation of a plan directly to what you need. That's what matters. That's what makes a difference. And those are the tools that successful 7-figure, 8-figure, impact-making entrepreneurs with all the freedom they could ever imagine, that's what they possess. All right. If that's you, go ahead and go to my website, joesovatraining.com, and we have resources there for you. Free resources where you can learn more about how to implement that in your business. So check that out now. joesovatraining.com/subscribe also. Go there and subscribe to the podcast. All right. So balance, focus, humbleness, all of that combined together. Those are the tools for your leadership mindset toolbox. When you apply those, you will get results. When you apply those, you will walk towards your dreams and start to implement exactly what you've always wanted. All right. So go to joesovatraining.com, check out the free resources, and I'm here to support you. So thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next episode.